This is an example of how to fill out the charity evaluation exercise that you guys did in place of a response paper for this week, because some of you said you were confused about how to do that. I'm going to show an example by using the 990 form from Elon that we downloaded in class last week, and there's also a copy of it up on Moodle. And it was downloaded from GuideStar, just like you guys did for your projects. So I need to find out some things about Elon, and so you'll see I've already filled in some of the blanks here, and I just found this information right here on the 990 form. So starting with fundraising expenses, you can find that on page 1 of the 990. It's just line 16B right here, and that was $4,589,253. I'm just putting raw numbers in here right now, but I'll go back and calculate the percentages in a minute. Another level of expenses are what we call the program expenses, and on a 990 that's done on page 2. On line 4E right here, total program service expenses, which Elon clocks at $197,932,164. Now, one thing that I'll want to keep in mind, just sort of with my critical thinking hat on, is that when I'm looking at some of these things, maybe they're not actually directly a part of the institution's primary mission of instruction. So for example, auxiliary services, this is like money that we pay to Aramark. And for the dorms and those kinds of things, Elon has a faculty staff Christmas party every year. As far as I know, we don't have some kind of an endowment that underwrites that, but that money is probably coming out in here that really doesn't have very much to do with actually instructing you guys. So I might call a little bit of shenanigans on that, but we'll take what they said. Now, administrative expenses is kind of hard to figure out because you have a lot of different things that it gets broken down to later down in the 990. So I'm actually not going to do that. I'm just going to make an assumption that given the total budget, and I'll just write the total budget here, which was 225 million. Sorry, I'm not doing large numbers well today, or talking apparently. 728. This is the total figure. If I add these two together and subtract it from the total figure, then the amount that I get left should be what's spent on administration. So that is 3,345,000. 2311. So otherwise 33 million. Okay, now I can calculate out the percentages then by just dividing each of these by the total number. And what I find out is that Elon spends 66% of its income on program expenses, it spends 14% on administrative expenses, and it spends 20% on fundraising. Now, when it comes to that fundraising, there's a matter of fundraising and a matter of fundraising efficiency. When I go up here, you can see that there's sort of two areas in which Elon takes in money. The first is contributions and grants, so this is like money that alumni give, parents give, these kinds of things. And the second here on line 10 is investment income, and I can just add those two together, and I would get a figure of 17746,559. I can actually, again, just divide, right, and divide this or this by this. And that will tell me that they spend about 25% of what they take in on the fundraising activities themselves. You'll notice that the biggest thing for this, if you go further down in the 990, is actually paying somebody to manage the endowment for us, which we pay a lot of money for, almost $2 million a year for someone just to manage the money in the endowment. Another way to think about this for the fundraising efficiency is that we raise $3 for every $1 that we spend on fundraising. Now, when I'm thinking about what efficiency is, both of these are a little bit low when compared with the standards that the different groups that we looked at, Charity Watch, Charity Navigator, Better Business Bureau, set, right? They set some sort of standards that said, well, you should be at least 75% efficient or 80% efficient with your money, and we're a little bit low on that. Okay, does Elon do audits? In order to find that out, I need to look at their annual report. And so here is the latest annual report that I was able to find from Elon. And if I go down in this, I can see they've got a financial overview that says what they're doing. And then down here, it states that they do actually have an audit procedure in place, that they follow, that is coordinated by the board, and conducted by an independent accounting firm. So are they audited? Yes, and it's a standard process. Okay, the CEO's salary, that's going to come from the 990 again, which, as we saw in class, lists the top 10 paid employees for an organization. There we go. And they got a lot of blank pages in their 990 for some reason I do not understand. But there we go. This is a list of everybody who's on the board, and didn't actually have their salaries. Those goodies come in a little bit later in the 990. Still looking. For the money we spent on study abroad, how much we spent on fundraising. Night of the Phoenix seems like it's kind of a lose in fundraising. We don't make very much money for the amount of work we do. Okay, here's our CEO compensation. Our CEO salary is $565,441. Is that a lot of money? Maybe, maybe not. And I would have to actually investigate and see what other college presidents at universities similar to Elon get paid. Secretly, if you do that, we're kind of average in that. Okay, as far as the percentage of the board that is paid, that is also here in the 990, and it's only like 2 people out of 30, so it's less than 10%. That program percentage, really that's the same thing as the 100 minus administration minus fundraising, or 66%. Again, this is just a different one. All right, how the solicitations seem. The solicitations are different advertising things that Elon would do, and in order to evaluate that, I would probably go to the website and look for those under fundraising and give to Elon. They don't seem that shady to me. All right. Here's the one person on the board who gets paid. I'm going to have to count the number of members on the board. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So we've got 42 people on the board, and 1 out of those. So 1 in 42. And the 1 in 42 is not paid for her board service, she's paid because she teaches a class or 2 adjunct. All right, board size is 42. Now we're going to look at the solicitations. Sorry, making these movies is really hard on the computer, so it goes kind of slowly. Giving, right here on the front. Resident philanthropy, we want you to do that. See the impact. Giving you these things. They're telling true stories of students, which is probably good. Lots of information on graduation. Different campaigns that they have. Okay, so different things here. This all seems fairly unshady to me, so I'm just going to put that. Unshady. Okay, does the university have a conflict of interest policy? I'm not sure, but we can probably do this. Again, so you'd be doing this with your own charity to go in there. Conflict of interest. Yes, they do. Yes. Do they measure their effectiveness? You can actually find this in the audit report. And it is down toward the end. Where it talks about the Elon commitment, the measurements that are done on that, some accountability as far as enrollment, room and board, quality of students that are admitted, how much money our endowment is worth, those kind of things. So do they have goals and effectiveness policies? They do. Is an audit report available? Yes. Outside ratings, we're #1 in US News for our category and across categories. In every category they rate schools like us in. And there you go. That is a little assessment that we have of Elon.